Jen. So if you, let's back up, I guess. If you get any errors or if you guys have any updates that you want to do, just email design@IamWindandSolar and it sends it to everybody. Also, if you guys have something in hold and you upload the document fixing that, just shoot us an email and let us know. I mean, right now we don't have too many in there, but when we get crowded, we're not constantly checking the folders. So if you just give us a heads up that way, it'd be awesome. If you do get a fail, you should be getting an email from one of the design reps telling you what it is. And then you should be getting automated emails, and we'll work on getting a summary. If that's not showing up, that's good. Then it goes to Jen, and she verifies. She basically goes through the project checklist and makes sure everything's squared away. Your photos, that's where most of the time where your photos are going to get hung up is with Jen, if you don't have self-panel photos. Every once in a while, they will get caught in design because we do try to verify the interconnection at that point as well, just to kind of speed it up on the back end. But if you're getting fails for photos, it's most likely with Jen. Again, if you're in doubt with anything like that, you can always just email me directly with an update, or Jen, or copy everybody on it. The goal is just to kind of verify this and get it sped through and have it become a project. After Jen goes through basically the project checklist and
just a note on the project checklist. So we spent an hour last Friday on the project checklist, and we eliminated what, 15 fields, Mike?
Yeah, quite a bit.
So we cleaned up a lot of stuff that was either antiquated and not being used anymore, or just wasn't helpful anymore. So don't freak out if you're missing a field that you've never filled out before. So don't worry, it'll look a little bit different because we cleaned it up a lot. It should be a lot quicker, a little bit less messy.
And nothing was added; it was only subtracted.
We didn't add any fields,
right.
That says something. We're doing it right.
Yeah, no checkboxes.
Yeah.
So
can we have a checkbox?
can we have checkbox for that? These are kind of the main points that Jen checks. This is in the opportunity so you guys can see everything that's going on. These are what she checks, and this kind of verifies that everything in the project checklist matches with bid and IA, which is pretty easy.
The only, I guess, question I had on those fields is sometimes I know that something's not in there yet. I'm trying to get it rolled so like the site survey can be done, but you have to check it in order to save it.
I agree.
Is there any way that we could not have it automatically, like you have to do it, like so that you guys know we know, or
These like sub-panel photos and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know they're we need them to get the job done, but sometimes like I want to get the ball started so the site survey can at least happen, and I'm working on getting.
Well, because the site survey takes care of a lot of the.
Sometimes,
like,
yeah, I
whether
can't do any
measurements are verified, it asks in there. If I haven't gotten on the roof, then the measurements aren't verified, but I still have to check that box in order to get the job rolled.
It doesn't ask that anymore. If the measurements are verified.
It doesn't?
It's mine.
Yeah, so we did,
Good.
I did type,
That's the one we eliminated.
Okay.
let me make sure that right, so that field went away, but, so when we are requesting a pre-sale site survey, is that what you're referring to, or just? a
No,
site survey
we're just, we want to get the job rolled so that the site survey will happen, but I mean,
You still need to get a power.
For example, like the guy sent me what he thought was a power bill, like after like 5 days of asking him for a power bill. And it wasn't a power bill, it was like his account info. And so I got his account number, which is good, but I didn't get a meter number.
Yeah.
Well, I figured the site survey team can get that for me. So I need that done.
anyways.
Yeah, so I rolled the job, but I guess I just wish that these were like, check if you have them, and if you don't make it like a has to be checked, because then it's gonna fail, which I know.
So.
I think it'd just make it easier. They could look and say, oh, he doesn't have that yet. He must know it because he didn't check it, instead of I check every one of them knowing I don't have 2 or 3 of them done.
I wonder if we just allow you still check it, but then you call it out in the scope of work, hey, this is the deal, I don't have this thing.
And maybe it's just me complicating it, but my biggest thing is like, I want to get the job rolled. I don't want to wait a week waiting on something if it can allow everyone else to start working as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a week until that even
It's kind of a catch because, I mean, the OR process is pretty slimmed down to just exactly what we need to actually move the project. So it's going to get caught
somewhere.
If you don't have that stuff, it's going to get caught now or in 7 days.
Yeah.
So if there's not a power bill, it would stop at
but-
Jen,
But
right?
I'm hoping the power
It's
bill
still
comes
stop.
within three, and I can move it forward and not have it
I
stop.
think maybe, I don't know, I don't wanna speak for her, but I think maybe asking Jen just to go out there, if that's a situation.
Yeah, and she does, and she's great that way, so I guess I was just, as we were talking about it, thinking,
Yeah.
but I can still just mark it every time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is, the OR process is so slimmed down to exactly what we need just to move it forward, that any of that kind of stuff, we've tried to leapfrog certain things and it just gets caught.
Okay.
But I would just work with Jen if it's
Yeah.
necessary.
If you do mark it and it's not there,
Not a
just
big
call it
deal.
out in the scope of work and
Yeah.
let Jen know.
Yeah,
They're
just-
probably not scope of work though, do it in the notes, right?
I
I usually
I
just-
would put it- I would put it in both places.
I just usually send her an email right after I'm done, and that probably is fine.
just kind of work through that a little bit, but, you guys can, so this is just an opportunity, you guys can see, I mean, you guys are pretty familiar with that part, but pre-install site survey, when everything was done, who did it. Design, install, this is what we check. A lot of this stuff, like the, bill of materials and for the racking, you guys don't have to worry about, we just kind of get a head start on it. If there's any notes, on our end, and then this is what Jen checks, she just kind of verifies everything that's in the project checklist is in the bid, and basically all your documents just kind of line up. And then accounting as well, just kind of verifies, I don't know how many errors or kickbacks you guys get on accounting, but everything, yeah, it's just kind of a double check on everything, just to make sure that we can deliver the project the way that you guys sold it.
Let's look at an example of one that's failed, so we know where the notes, and interpret some of the notes. One thing I did change, and I don't know if anybody else was having an issue with this, but I was experiencing, sometimes I want to roll a deal, I didn't quite have everything, but I wanted to start filling it out. And I wanted to park it like in approval or verbal, whatever that status is, but it won't even let you save it there without having everything. I'm like, that's stupid, so it should allow you to save it in any of those status levels without having everything, so you can start it, oh crap, I gotta make sure I got the power bill, park it in approve/verbal, get the power bill loaded up, then mark it as one. Like, it wasn't letting you, if you
Yeah, to
didn't have
finish
everything, you had to like
everything.
start over, and that was super annoying, so you should be able to do that now, if not, let me know.
So this is what the opportunity looks like if there is a fail. You'll see right here, it fails non-price. That usually means, if it doesn't have to do with the price, it has to do with some kind of document that's missing. Need a signature. And then you can see accounting notes and all that kind of stuff. I wonder,
The reason can I speak for myself on this one? The main
this
reason.
is a great example.
Well, this is a perfect example, so it's a two-story house, obviously I didn't get on the roof to verify the measurements, come to find out we can fit more on the south side than I did pack it. So we're actually gonna be putting more on the south side, and so.
Nice, so yeah, Tyler's saying need
Signature.
signature on change layout.
And then with that kind of scenario, you need to just update the bid in the IA, right? Because we're just gonna double check that the production matches. And the number of panels and all that kind of stuff, but that's pretty common, easy to get around. But the note should just be kind of, I mean, as they go along here. Pre-install.
Changes like that, DocuSign's so nice for it.
Yeah.
Who's that plug for? It is.
You want that
That's
bill
a
yet?
noon plug.
Oh, I'll wait.
You wait till
Hold
the,
that, hold that.
plug that again.
And then there's a OR on hold, and this is kind of long-term holds, if there's like the house isn't built yet, the financing hold or anything like that. One thing about the OR, like on hold here, Jen does a weekly check. But if you guys know that the project's moving forward, just shoot out an email to everyone. Me and Ryan will take care of it. Just to make sure that everybody's aware that these projects are moving forward, not on hold. Some of them have been popping up that you guys have been put in negotiation and not one. After you do a pre-site survey,
It's a tough one.
pre-sale site survey. That one, they'll show up in this and we just throw them on hold. So if those ones move forward, you're just gonna have to let us know and we'll just have to work together on that. But what kind of questions do you guys have on it? I mean, it seems fairly easy. I think communications is kind of the biggest part, and we just try to move them through. So call, email, text, whatever. Just go through.
So I had a deal that, this is more Rocky Mountain Power's fault, I think, than our process, but the client got back to me and was like, hey, my net meter still hasn't been, installed. And I got a call, so I called Rocky Mountain Power, and they said they were waiting on a signature, and I guess their portal had went down. They didn't, even though the client and Marissa had sent in an email or a signed NMA, they didn't recognize it. And so maybe like, how do we see, is there a way to see where the net meter process is and the status on that?
Yeah, so that's gonna be actually when the project gets rolled, but go to,
I think that's their new line. It hasn't been signed yet.
yeah, well, and now I hope everyone's aware that the customer signs for their net meter agreement after inspection instead of before upfront. But, so if you go to the project, this is the project checklist. You can see it's NMA submitted, approved, kind of on the front end of things, and then there'll be inspection passed, net meter ordered, so that's when you know that their signatures have been in, and then net meter acknowledged, so they have a million steps. So you sign it, they take their sweet time and acknowledge it, and then they send a crew out. So there's acknowledgement and then install.
Okay.
So you can kind of see exactly where it's at. If you don't have acknowledgement, maybe there's a missing signature or
So
something.
is that process gonna be changing where we are able to get that ahead of time possibly? Didn't we say
The
that?
signature, we're working on that.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we got-
Rocky Mountain Power has given us, they've said that it's possible.
A question on the buffer, not that this happens very often, but I think that moved. Did you guys notice
The checklist,
I
Yeah.
haven't had a buffer in for so long that
I know we talked about it, but I can't remember what.
I just had one last week for just like $300 is all, but, so I did F, just Control F to find, because I couldn't find it at the top where it normally was.
It's up there in the pricing.
$10 a while.
Is it?
Yeah, it's in your,
Sure.
section.
How'd you spell buffer? I didn't know anything about that, it was changed. The location of it, you just can't find it?
Yeah, I found it at the bottom, like way down where I thought we weren't supposed to deal with, but I didn't find it where it was normally.
That's weird, I don't know.
Well, while we're on this, one last question. Is there any way that I don't know if it would be helpful to you guys, but for me, like getting an automatic email when like the net meter agreement has been acknowledged, or like whenever that step gets completed and marked by Marissa, just getting a notification, an automatic something.
Yeah, that's fairly simple. You're getting one when it's installed, but probably
Yeah.
not when it's acknowledged. It's a new field.
What good will the acknowledged do? I'm just trying to think, I don't know your thought behind that, I'm trying to understand it.
Just like knowing
They've signed and it's moving
that it's like
forward.
moving along.
Okay.
I mean, I could go in on each person and check
Yeah.
and see what's their status is, but I don't know.
We can do it, does everyone want that?
I haven't had a problem with it, if you get the random customer or Rocky Mountain Power slow or they didn't sign it, then we just get notified. I've had that happen where the office calls me and says, hey, this customer hasn't, we've sent him this email for him to sign 3 times, and he hasn't signed it, and I call him and I didn't realize, he didn't realize.
Yeah.
Which, so stuff like that does happen, but it's pretty rare, it's not every time, it's.
Reese is on it.
Yeah.
I mean, we average like 1 day from that email being sent out to having it signed and acknowledged, so it's really not a huge issue.
Okay.
But there are some people that, for whatever reason, it gets lost.
I had one, and it makes you think they all do, but I think for the most part, it's pretty good.
I've had to drive out to people's houses and help them log in their email address.
It's a weird scenario, but
Sign it.
you get a notification when it passed inspection or when it's installed.
Install.
And so,
What's the delay? That's,
You should get
I always wonder, like.
I think if you got one at past inspection, then you can give the client a heads up, hey, this email.
Yeah, I
It might be a good idea.
So we don't pass inspection?
I think they already get one, do you not?
Yeah, I get one.
For past inspection.
Do you know what the delay is from like the time the actual guy
Right.
puts the meter on the house to when we get that email saying the net meter's been installed?
It's fast now.
Is it?
It's it's within 12 hours, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we used to have a huge delay on them actually letting us know when the net meter's installed, but they've released with the new
So
automated
I don't need
system.
to like warn the customer to call me once it's installed?
No,
so I
and
can
they
mark it?
haven't had, they've been really good about giving like door hangers saying, hey, your system's ready to go.
Okay.
Kind of thing too, so.
If they'll call you, great.
Yeah.
So we'll get, because everything's through Power Clerk, their online service, so we get, it's all automated, so we get it pretty fast, and they have been putting out door hangers.
Okay.
Yes.
So I hope you guys do.
So door hangers could be maybe expected now, because I'm always like, you may not ever know unless
Yeah,
the
I
power's
think-
out
Well, we used to
or
put
the.
stickers on them, and I noticed we stopped doing that too.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain Power's been a lot better.
Does
They
Rocky
won't let us
Mountain
know
Power
when
put
they're-
the sticker on that says net metering or not anymore?
They do,
Okay,
it'll say net meter on that.
yeah.
So, yeah. What was it? They use, the only thing we don't know is when they're actually gonna install it, so we'll get acknowledgement and they'll just say it's out to be installed. That's gonna be guessing game. So they have 10 days from the acknowledgement to install the net meter.
Sometimes it does say net meter on it.
Yeah, net meter, but
But
Is it
it's,
like on the bulb, like?
Sticker right on the bulb that says net metering,
Oh.
I think. That's what mine says anyway. You?
I would say my only issue that I've had recently with getting things passed through would be the two that we've talked about. That I stopped getting emails that tell me the details of why my stuff fails. So then I just see that it failed, and so then I've got to call Jen and say, hey, what's going on with this one? Or email her and find out versus, I used to get an email that would say, failed for these reasons.
It should be listed in there too, though. You can go in the opportunity.
Well, I know, then I have to go back, yeah.
But,
Not much
but
for
let's
going
just
back
make
in the
sure,
system.
let's do a couple trial runs to make sure those are working. If not, we'll have to ask Chris what's going on.
Yeah.
It should be going, because some of these guys are receiving them.
And you get that once a week?
Well, I get whatever that email, I get the email is that says which ones have failed, and it just says they failed, but it doesn't
But
give me
not
the reason
why.
why. You're right, I could log back in and probably get in here, but
It's pretty, I think.
I
we can
never
add
think of that, I just
line
emailed
pretty
Jen
easy.
first, which is,
Is it,
Slows the
when do they
process.
come, do you know, is that Tuesday, what days did you say? Tuesday.
well, so if you have a failed opportunity design, it's Tuesday and Friday, you do it.
Oh, but just on design.
I think with Jen's, when her fails in her, it's every day. I could be wrong. I feel like I get it every day when it's failed, which is good. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always fail because of no sub-panel pictures,
Power bill and stuff.
that's my hardest thing.
Any
I
other
don't
questions?
tell you that one.
No,
You
I
have to
don't.
take some photos.
Well, this is probably could be a different day, but I would really like to know when someone calls me, hey, my net meter was brought, how do I turn the system on, rather than, deferring them to monitoring their email.
You want me to turn it on? Is that what you're
Well, I
saying?
think I know how to turn on end phase, but
Tell me to flip the switch, man.
It's just,
Isn't
well,
it-
we've got YouTube videos now.
That's it.
yeah.
They get an automated email with instructions.
Just
Yeah,
have
that's-
Lyle and then send you that email and keep it on file and then send it to him. It tells you kind of YouTube videos
Yeah,
or
I'll have to
how to
watch
do
it
it.
again. I know it's pretty simple, it's just a matter of a couple breakers.
Do you guys know how to read the lights on the Enphase Envoy? Like if you were to walk somebody through on how to turn it on, what those lights mean?
I just had, Chris go through those with me.
But- So there's four lights, there's like a little cloud at the top. I can't remember the symbol. Anyways, there's another light right there, just make a circle. And then there's two arrows going this way, and then it's like a lightning bolt or something here, right? So if this one is solid green, the top is solid green, the cloud, then you have internet connection. If it's blinking, it's looking for it. If it's red, there's nothing, right? This one here, the second one down, is basically the Envoy has its own Bluetooth connection that you can connect to with your phone to set it up. It's never gonna be on unless once the installers usually run through everything and set everything up. That's just kind of saying, hey, I don't know, you can connect to its own little service. The arrows going the opposite direction means that the inverters are communicating with the Envoy. So if it's solid green, it's at least seeing the inverters. And then the power or the lightning bolt it's producing if it's solid green.
Chris did say though, there's variations and like even if the arrows aren't, if they're red, it's not a worry yet, right? I mean, because it could be just if a cloud, if they're communicating, if 90% of them are communicating but one isn't because there's shade on it.
Right.
Then it'll show not green, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
not-
mean, especially when you first turn the system on, it's not a fail-safe.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times this will show red if the system was down or if they lost internet for a while. And everyone thinks that their inverters aren't communicating, but really what's happening is it's downloading like the past week of data. But
Well, he said too, at night, right, they turn off when they're not producing, they turn off, and so that thing doesn't turn green anymore, because the inverters
Yeah,
aren't
well,
talking because they're turned off,
Almost go sleep.
so.
So the cloud is the Wi-Fi.
Cloud is the internet, yeah.
Or the lines, those are the major two, right?
Yeah, I mean, this one probably had the most hiccup as far as being a red, but if you're getting power, you'll be all right. And it'll blink for like 5 minutes, and it's the longest 5 minutes of your life you turn on. You're just getting in there, turn on.
We can get you his emails, John. With those.
Yeah.
We could probably.
I like the email that was sent out, to see what it looks like.
It's literally just like throw the nice one, yeah, almost down there, they're gonna pass it, right?
Well, yeah, the on-play box or whatever, just make sure those breakers are on.
They leave, everyone I've ever seen, they leave them on from the start.
Well, they leave them on for the internet too, so it could be connected to the internet probably.